There is a secret magic in the gardens we tuck away from the rest of the world. When space is limited, every leaf and weathered stone becomes part of a deeper, more intimate story. Today, we step into the quiet beauty of small rustic sanctuaries, those tucked-away corners of the earth that feel like a hidden paradise discovered for the very first time. Imagine walking along a boundary that doesn't feel like a barrier, but like a piece of history. Weathered cedar, with its soft silver-gray patina, provides a backdrop that feels as though it has stood for decades. The grain of the wood is raised by the sun and rain, offering a tactile depth that modern painted fences simply cannot match. It serves as a neutral canvas, allowing the vibrant greens of your ferns and the bright pops of your flowers to stand out with an effortless, old-world elegance. There is a secret rhythm to a path made of irregular stones nestled deep into the earth. As you step from one cool, flat surface to the next, you notice the soft velvet of green moss creeping into the crevices. This isn't a path built for speed. It's built for discovery. The moss cushions your footsteps and softens the edges of the rock, making the entire walkway feel like a natural extension of the forest floor, guiding you deeper into your own private paradise. In a cozy rustic garden, utility meets beauty in the most unexpected ways. A cluster of galvanized metal buckets, perhaps once used on a working farm, now finds a second life holding a riot of colorful petunias. The matte, zinc-coated surface reflects the morning light with a humble glow. When grouped together at varying heights, these buckets create a tiered landscape of texture and color, grounding your porch in a sense of resourcefulness and timeless farmhouse charm. The entrance to a hidden paradise should feel like a transition into another world. A simple wooden or iron arbor, heavy with the weight of climbing roses, creates a floral tunnel that greets you with fragrance and color. As the vines weave through the structure, they soften the architectural lines, turning a narrow gateway into a romantic portal. It's a classic rustic touch that suggests the garden inside is a place where nature is allowed to wander and grow with a beautiful wild freedom. Picture a quiet corner under the canopy of an old tree, where the leaves filter the afternoon sun into dancing patterns on the ground. Nestled here is a bench made of heavy reclaimed timber, its surface smooth from years of use. It's a place designed for long conversations or quiet reflection. The warmth of the wood and the coolness of the shade create a perfect balance, making this seating nook feel like the heart of the garden, a stationary sanctuary in a moving world. To bring a rustic garden to life, one must invite the local wildlife to stay. Tucking a cluster of birdhouses, each with its own unique shape and weathered roof, into a leafy corner creates a miniature village for your feathered friends. These tiny structures add vertical interest and a touch of storytelling to the landscape. As the birds flit in and out, the garden takes on a sense of community and movement, proving that even the smallest space can be a thriving, diverse ecosystem. As the sun dips below the horizon, the rustic garden undergoes a transformation. Hanging vintage iron lanterns from low-hanging branches or placing them along a stone wall creates a soft, flickering glow that highlights the textures of the night. The heavy metal and seeded glass of the lanterns evoke a time before electricity, casting long, romantic shadows and turning your small outdoor space into a magical, starlit retreat that feels entirely disconnected from the modern world. There is a carefree beauty in a border that isn't perfectly manicured. A drift of wildflowers, poppies, daisies, and lavender, spilling over the edges of a path creates a look that is effortlessly natural. These plants move with the slightest breeze, adding a sense of lightness and air to the garden. They attract bees and butterflies, ensuring that your rustic oasis is always buzzing with life. While their hardy nature means the garden looks beautiful with very little intervention. Terracotta is the quintessential material of the rustic garden, its warm, earthy tones deepening with age and moisture. By layering pots of different sizes on a set of wooden steps or a potting bench, you create a rich tapestry of form. When filled with trailing succulents that spill over the rims like living waterfalls, the display becomes a study in contrast, the hard, porous clay against the soft, fleshy leaves. It's a simple, low-cost way to add architectural depth to a small space. In a tiny backyard, a mirror is a window into an impossible world. Mounted on a fence and framed by climbing ivy, a vintage mirror reflects the greenery and the sky, tricking the eye into seeing a hidden path or an additional room. It doubles the light and the sense of space, making the boundaries of the garden feel soft and limitless. It adds a touch of mystery, as if the hidden paradise continues forever just beyond the glass. The sound of water is the ultimate healer in a garden. A simple stone basin, perhaps an old farm trough or a hand-carved bird bath, can be transformed into a minimalist water feature. As the water gently ripples over the stone, it catches the reflection of the clouds above. It's a quiet, grounding element that brings a sense of serenity to the space. The cool stone and the rhythmic sound work together to drown out the noise of the neighborhood, centering the garden in peace. When floor space is limited, the garden must go up. A sun-bleached wooden pallet, mounted against a wall, serves as the perfect rustic frame for a vertical herb garden. Tucking pots of rosemary, thyme, and mint into the slats creates a fragrant wall of green. The rough wood provides a beautiful textural contrast to the delicate herbs, turning a functional kitchen garden into a decorative focal point that looks as good as it smells. A garden shed shouldn't just be for storage. It should be a destination. Painted in a soft weathered pastel and decorated with window boxes and antique hardware, a small shed becomes a storybook cottage in the corner of your yard. It adds a sense of destination to the garden, making the space feel larger by providing a goal for your walk. It's a charming anchor for the landscape, suggesting a life filled with creative projects and quiet, outdoor hobbies. Sometimes, a gate doesn't need to lead anywhere to be effective. Propping a vintage wrought iron gate against a brick wall or a hedge creates an instant architectural focal point. The intricate scrolls and rusted finish tell a story of craftsmanship and time. When paired with a climbing vine like jasmine or clematis, the iron becomes a living sculpture, adding a sense of structure and estate charm to even the most modest of backyards. In a small rustic garden, the ground you walk on is just as important as the plants above. Instead of a traditional lawn, using a mix of wood chips, river pebbles, and low-growing thymes creates a texture-rich floor that feels wild and naturalistic. These materials suppress weeds and retain moisture while providing a beautiful, variegated surface that changes with the light. It's a sustainable sensory approach to gardening that makes your sanctuary feel like a rugged, untouched corner of the wilderness. As the light fades across the weathered timber and soft wildflower borders, the true spirit of the garden remains. A small rustic sanctuary is a gentle reminder that we don't need much to find peace. Just a quiet corner where the earth feels close and the world feels far away.